Taking hyperbole, poetry is on the way. Taking hyperbole, the poetry candle is whistling, yay. Taking hyperbole, poetry and life and death and discussion. Sometimes hyperbole, sometimes hyperbole, and cake poetry is on the way.
And hey, Amy.
It's me. Here we are. Yay!
I just love that song. And welcome to the December Christmas. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be Christmas. December holiday Cake and Hyperbull.
Yeah, the December edition of Cake and Hyperbull.
Yeah, I love your
Christmas
tree back
isn't
there.
everybody's thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I said I love the tree and how all of that looks back there. It's so festive.
Sorry, mine's stuttering for some reason. I have headphones. I'm going to try and unplug and plug in and see if that helps.
Okay.
All right, let's see. This is great. We were like just chatting. So
yeah. And then it started freezing up.
Unplug, plug in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it freezing up now?
No, it looks good. I think we got it back.
Okay.
So, but anyways,
good.
welcome everybody. Awesome. We have some cool things coming up. I have a list, so I'm going to look at my list. Yep. One is I'm going to share Shadow Atlas, which just came out. I've got a poem in there, and I'm going to show off this beautiful, gorgeous book, which I'm super jealous that I didn't put that together. Like severe jealousy there. When I first paged through that book, my first thought was, well, I quit. I'm not going to lay out anything ever again now because that book is so gorgeous. So it's truly gorgeous.
Angela is such a capable poet and writer and everything. And I'm like, whenever you talk about getting jealous, I'm like, oh, thank God, she's a real person. Because like I have had to temper my like constant state of general embarrassment and or jealousy like throughout my life. And
oh, that's funny. No, I get jealous all the time. Usually it's something like that. Like, wow, their layout turned out so amazing. Well, I just quit. Like, what's the point? Yeah. What's the point of me ever doing layout now when people can do that? So it's gorgeous.
Yeah, that happened to me the first time I read Flannery O'Connor and the last time I read Flannery O'Connor because I was like throwing the book across the room. She just makes me feel stupid. So so don't ask me any Flannery O'Connor questions. I think I've read one story by her because I can't handle it. So,
that's funny. That's how I always feel about David Bowie's music. Like, oh, why didn't I write that? Well, I just quit. There's no point in me doing poetry.
I know. Lyrics are
yeah. And I think of lyrics as poetry, you know. So
I do too. Absolutely. Yeah. There are songwriters that I think of as poets for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and one thing that I should mention, if you are watching this right now, we're going to have a giveaway. But you have to leave the comment on the YouTube chat. The little robot that's going to do the giveaway does not pick it up if you're watching this on Facebook, which I think is the only other place it's streaming right now.
Yeah, and I just put in the YouTube link.
Yeah, exactly. And this is how you enter the giveaway. Well, first, Angela actually shares. Okay. If you type in this phrase in chat, on YouTube chat, then we are going to draw at the end of this for a copy of Tortured Willows. And this is the New Zealand edition. This is not the one that's for sale on Amazon. Because the cover is different. It's slightly different, and you can figure out how different because it's very subtle. But yes, it's different cover. So that giveaway is going to be happening. We'll mention it throughout this thing. I will. And we have a thing right there so we can remind people.
That is so cool. This is the big time right here.
I love StreamYard. They are really cool. So I'll just leave that up and stop sharing my screen. Even I can use StreamYard, so that's pretty amazing. It's a good program.
It is.
So I think that's it. Yep, Shadow Atlas, and then the giveaway. And we're going to be talking about push carts, which our own Pete Kelly is a Pushcart nominated poet now. He can claim that. And yeah, and then talking about a couple other things like that. And this gorgeous little guy that showed up on my porch at Christmas. This is what I'm going to be doing later on today. Cuddling up with
I'm
the
in love
stuffed
with
serial killer. So
Cesare
yeah, I'm
or
super
Cesare.
excited.
Oh,
Yes, I have checked out that movie. In fact, when I went to check out the movie, Zach over at the library kind of laughed at me, like, "Oh, you're gonna watch it again? You're gonna try?" And I was like, "I'm really gonna do it this time." Now I actually have a handcrafted art doll from Amy to watch it with, so I'm really gonna do it this time.
Oh, sorry, it flipped. I'm trying to get my thing to quit stuttering. It just keeps stuttering on me, so I don't know if it's my connection or what. But so if I'm just going, then that's why. So say something so I can see if I can. Okay. Yeah,
okay.
Is
it good?
I don't know. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
okay.
That's good. That's
yeah,
good. Awesome.
it started out that way, but now it looks fine for me. So
yeah, it's coming and going. I don't know what the deal is with it. So I might just be like, okay, I'm gonna read something now, and then
hope you guys can hear it.
yeah, exactly. If you can hear me, we're fine.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
Cool.
I think we're ready to start. I don't want to delay and have all our internets leave us. The internet gods have decided they are displeased today.
Right. I'm also in a different room of the house.
Yeah. I do want to show off the cake that was delivered on my porch this morning as my final. It's like show and tell. Let me show you what I got. I got this doll and I got this. But Amy, for anybody who's wondering why it's cake and Hyperbull, Amy puts the cake in the cake and Hyperbull. So yeah, I will be right back. And if you want to, I don't know if you do you have your poem ready?
Do you have a poem ready? But I think I will tell a little bit about the cake, and then if I have one ready, I do. Okay. I have one ready that I didn't write. It's called A Christmas Ghost Story. I didn't write it. It was written by, I think it was, Thomas Hardy. I'm like, where's the poet's name? Thomas Hardy. Old days.
Awesome.
So you go ahead and do that.
Because I really didn't want to actually miss the poem either. So I will be right back with this cake to show it off.
Cool. Awesome. The cake that Angela refers to is a ghost cake made in I can't even remember the name of the pan, like the Nordic ware ghost pan that I used to every 13th of the month make a ghost cake for our homeschooling class because we would build lessons on ghost stories. And here she is. She's putting in her earbuds. I never got to the poem. I was talking about the cake pan. Woo! There it is. You guys, it is the coolest cake pan. It just makes a ghost cake that looks like a ghost.
Yeah, super realistic ghost. Whoops.
Yeah.
And I love the frosting. Like that frosting really just makes it look.
Yeah.
All people in my
icing
house
with powdered
agree.
sugar. Yeah, I saw that cake pan, not the exact one that I got, but I saw one of them at Pride's in Westport in Kansas City, that kitchen store, when I was still homeschooling. And I was like, this is going to take our Ghost Story 13th into the stratosphere. But I couldn't afford it that day. And so I called closer to Christmas a couple of years ago and was like, do you still have that? They couldn't find it. Looked on Amazon. There was a used like new one that was $18 instead of like $48. And I was like, that's happening. So
yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, this is a brilliant cake. So, and I am like super lucky because I am not a baker. So thank you. I do love cake, even though I don't bake much. All right, I'm going to go return this. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm actually going to read my Shisa poem in a little bit.
Awesome.
I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. I'll talk about the Shisa. Angela makes these little booklets and key rings. I'm trying to find how to put it in front of the camera of these Okinawan creatures I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm going to let her talk about them. Traditional Okinawan guardian pair, similar to Chinese guardian lions. So they're so cool. I got that. She gave me an herbal book and some lip stain. Thank you, my friend. What fun. I'm going to pour the coffee. All right. We're back in. Okay.
Yes.
I never got to the Thomas Hardy poem. I was just yammering. So
That's okay.
we'll
I'm
get to it
done
if we
with
get
my
to it.
show and tell. I could probably show off more things, but that's my show and tell list for right now.
Oh, what fun! Oh, what fun! I threw up this Christmas tree in my husband's study because of our water heater situation where they're going to come fix it maybe during Cake and Hyperbull. I don't know. But I thought it'll be less noisy in this room. Weirdly, my childhood bedroom from 1978 to 1985. And then I moved, my sister and I swapped. But it's not the same color as it was. And it's not set up like it was. So I don't have like weird flashbacks. I'm not going to regress during Cake and Hyperbull and start being my third grade self or anything. I gotta go get my Cabbage Patch Kid, and such. So
That's so funny.
But anyway, that's where we are. And my husband's gonna come home and be like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I put up the Christmas tree that you gave me all those years ago." So I don't know. I'll just send him a picture that says, "You're fine with it. You're fine with it."
This is happening. That's awesome.
This is done.
That's kind of cool too. If you think about it, like, your third grade room? Like if you could predict one day I will be sitting in here on the floor doing this Cake and Hyperbull thing with a Christmas tiara on my head. So things have not changed for me.
Giant silver Christmas tree. Got myself a piece of fruitcake because I love everybody. I don't care what. I should write a poem to fruitcake for our third Sunday one because I love it. So
I actually love fruitcake. I never understand what all the fruitcake hatred is about. So it's like banana bread, but with like muscle, like banana bread on steroids. What's not to love?
This one has like Guinness Stout in it. It's so good. Oh, are they calling? Okay, can you? Oh gosh, my kid brought me the phone. One moment, please. I will step away.
That's fine. I will talk about the she says. I will talk about the she says then.
Hello.
And I can read my she says poem. That's one good thing about Cake and Hyperbull, or I don't know if it's a good thing, but you never know what's going to happen. So.
I think we have a water heater people coming, and
I'm going to do that real quick so we don't hear the conversation. And while we are getting started, because Amy's already heard this, she showed off the little keychain that I've been making, and I've got like 80 of these that I am releasing into the wild because Shisa are supposed to be guardians that bring luck. And I think it has been kind of one of those years that we all need some lucky guardians. So that is how I am handling, cheering myself up for Christmas. And so I will read the poem, Dreaming of Shisa. And each Shisa has a girl. This is the female Shisa. And then on the other side is the male Shisa. And between them, they make the perfect noise of the universe, which is basically, which means completion. And they're supposed to rebalance all of the negative energy or energy of the universe and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you're into that or not. But that's what Shisa do. And that's why I thought, probably be good to have a lot of Shisa out there. I'm going to read the poem, Dreaming of Shisa, from Tortured Willows, which we are giving away a copy on this show today. And I have dogs barking, so this is definitely the more interesting show. Talk about a funny interlude because then I have dogs barking.
Of course, they're on their way, guys.
I forgot I had somebody ring the doorbell.
It was my kid brought me the phone because I understand. I was like, answer this and tell them we're expecting them, but they started asking questions that he didn't expect, which I get it.
Oh yeah.
So I had to go do that. So even better, they'll be here soon, and I'll get to show them everything. So it's you, Angela. The Cake and Hyperbull that I was born for, the December episode. And the hot water heater people can be like, we're coming tomorrow. No, we can't tell you what time. It's like, at least the cable people are like, or whatever, are like, oh, we'll be there between 8 and 5. They wouldn't even tell us when they start. I was in bed at 5 a.m. going, I wonder if they're going to be here in 5 minutes, or whatever.
Oh, that's funny.
Because then it would. I can't believe they came in the middle of this show. I was like, God, certainly they won't. If it's the whole day before us, it will not be during our poetry show.
Well, so you could ask them.
For a minute. Okay.
You could ask them, when are you
Out with
coming?
the
And then they
bad
could
air.
have said, oh, during Cake and Hyperbull. Oh, you know that show?
Exactly. Oh, that would have been worth it. I would have accepted that. So, oh
Yeah.
jeez. And I
Well,
gave
I
them good directions. I
entertained.
should have just let them get lost for a while. Oh, man.
Oh yeah, we're over by
Oh.
Whataburger.
Oh, yeah, really? We got new Whataburgers, world. There's like in different towns around here. There's a guy on the Kansas City Chiefs who kind of owns one of them and is, I don't know what. So everybody is like flipping out over Whataburger.
Yeah, and I lived in Florida. We had Whataburger.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, really? Y'all are super excited about that, but
it seems like it's fast food. It seems like a weird thing to get all hyped up about. But I really think they're hyped up about it because they think that football player is going to be there, Patrick Mahomes. So we have the same birthday, but I don't care about football. So
do you really?
Whatever.
Awesome.
Well,
See,
we should probably get to some poetry, don't you think?
Yeah. And I had an interruption while you were gone, so it was kind of like chaos. And then somebody rang my doorbell, and then all the dogs started barking, so more chaos. So yeah, this was. But that is, isn't that what the holidays are? Chaos everywhere.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I think we should get to some poetry. So, do you want to start out?
Well, should we start with our
hallucinisms?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll start
let's
out
with those.
Yeah, we did a hallucinism. Maybe a Christmas ghost story. Use the term mausoleum cake. If you put it all together, mine happened to come all together in one poem. So we'll see how it goes. It's called Christmas Ghosts. Hallucinism is revived. The Prussian jester, in bolts of black leather, portrayed death in a film once. His ears so angular they seemed spirit world improvisation, a bell song to behold. How could the afternoon drag on so? I fashioned an eggnog pie in protest. As death he wandered, sucking a rum and butter barber pole candy stick and speaking no words. He soaked the world in brandy and set it alight, burying it as sugar cubes and marshmallows for flaming ghost eyes. All flames summoning our cherished ghosts to table for mausoleum cakes. Myrrh spiced, lavishly iced, luxuriant with clove, and flaming brandied marshmallows. Then to the hearthside to dish eternal secrets. They smell of mausoleums, brandy, and marshmallows. Their request is for peppernut cigarillos, now defunct. Their eternal secrets are vague and disappointing. We have been hoodwinked at the spirit board. The Teutonic minstrel lights his marshmallow eyes afire, distributes gifts of stitch-encrypted handmade sweaters, and falls profoundly asleep in the iconic bentwood rocking chair, purring delirious lost songs to the corner spiders, spelling their doom. At the end. Christmas ghosts.
I love it. That is like that is what Christmas is about to me. It's like the whole holiday, kind of spooky, festive, lots of like sweets.
I was a little worried about the line about the rum and butter barber pole candy stick, right? It's like there are food details that I always want to incorporate, and I had run across that and I was like, that could be a euphemism. Maybe it is. It's poetry. I don't know. No, I shouldn't say that. I should not pull back the veil. You tell me. Yeah. All right.
It is subjective to the reader, or to the listener in this case.
That's right. If you need it to mean that, that's fine. I'm not going to deny you. So there you go.
It means what you want it to mean.
That's right.
I want to say thank you. You saved my butt last night because we already talked about this before, but last night, Classic Angela, it's the night before, and this has been on my list to do this like for a month. But I'm like, Cake and Hyperbull is tomorrow. I have to A, get the show up, and B, I have to write that poem, which was, where did I write those notes? Which sticky tab is that? It's okay. I remember. It's a hallucinogen poem. That was it. It was a hallucinogen poem. So then I Googled hallucinogen poems. Whole nother ball of wax there. And so very interesting reading. Then I went down the hallucinogen poems. Then I went down hallucinogens in general for writing poetry. So yeah, we were not getting that poem done though. So thank you for rescuing me on comments on Instagram. So yeah, and it's not in
That
my
was
book for some
hilarious.
reason.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So I did actually
'cause,
get that
there's
poem
2
done.
copies
Yeah.
of a poet's glossary. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's the
And
book
I bought the
that we
cheaper
learned
version.
Hallucinated City was mentioned in that book. And I can read a little bit of the notes that I wrote down. If you wonder about hallucinism, here we go. Some notes I wrote down, and this is a quotation from the Poet's Glossary. I sing in my own way, Andrade claims. He's the author of Hallucinated City, which is the true meaning of this most short-lived of movements. It is the length of this book, the hallucinism movement, but we revived it today. But what persists is Arthur Rimbaud's rhythmic quest for a mystical hallucination of the word. Hallucination of the word. Oh, I wrote it big. I write it big if I want to remember and know what I'm talking about. I sing in my own way. And Christmas ghosts. Okay, and then I started talking about Dr. Hair, which was the guy who cuts my husband's hair. Okay, and my son's hair. Okay, over to you, Angela.
With an intro like that. Now, I will say I really loved this, and I actually would like to keep doing more of these because it was really fun. And there's really not a lot of instruction, which I think is kind of the point.
Yes.
So I kind of went with a stream of consciousness kind of approach. And it was like midnight, I think. And I didn't really know what I was doing. So that is what happened. But I really liked the experience and how, not thinking about it, not making rules, not trying to get it all tight in this little box, just kind of let it out. So I will read mine.
And of course, I'm trying to get it to quit stuttering.
Yeah, that's it. And we can do a shorter show today because I know you've got stuff going on and we're having some tech problems. So we'll let it happen as it's going to happen.
Where I am.
Yeah, and reprise the third Sunday because we're going to be reprising anyways and doing the Poetry Live on Instagram. So, all right, I am going to read this poem because I think Amy is stuttering and she can't hear me. Okay.
I'm listening. Let's hope. Fingers crossed.
All right. I called mine Hallucinism, Christmas Story.
Ooh.
The blind bat taps and snaps at passerby, crying, "Why, oh why did I not remember? It's December, a time to dismember what we misremember when the family all gathers and shatters peace and goodwill, where we buy a secondhand tree, nearly free, complete with icicle lights and fights filling the back seat, and treats in the stockings, the flocking all gathered with care, to soon fall like dandruff in St. Nicholas' hair, while ghastly tales unfold, so bold these tellings of haunted doings, and now the chilled brewings of leftover wassail assaults our senses, along with expenses we know will rise up like Scrooge's 3 ghosts to host ulcers and bad dreams. But it seems all we need to remember the season is a reasonable slice of Mausoleum cake to take the chill off the bill and remind us to cherish our smudged and sticky holidays, where Aunt Maggie passes out from the eggnog and Uncle Bart always farts in his sleep. And that's it.
Yay! And I heard every word. It was like, the Lord was like, you need to hear this. So, you've got to send me a copy of that because I will read that again and again. I love details like that. I love your internal rhymes were so rhythmic. And you mentioned wassail, which
that was for you.
Woo! If anybody is into Instagram, every Wednesday in December, I'm doing a wassail Wednesday where I make a kind of drink, a hot drink, and probably do some songs. I might read out loud from Bathtub Absinthe on this coming up one. The very first story is just a couple of paragraphs, like a few paragraphs long. It's very short, but it mentions a hot Christmas drink, and so I'm like, maybe I'll do it. We'll see. There's just that giveaway and all that stuff. So tune in. It's
on your Instagram, right? Which, by the way, I was going to say you can find that link in the comments.
Yay! Hey, I do it live, part of it live, but at no particular time. I'm like, basically when my husband leaves for a walk or a bike ride and my kid is at school, it's like, that's when I do it, because I can go through the whole house to different rooms if I need to, and do whatever I want and not feel weird. And so, but it'll be in the feed, it'll be like in my account, it'll stay there, so you can watch it.
Yeah.
You can watch last week. So, yeah. Yay!
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that is exactly why I said was up. But I thought it was pronounced wassail. That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
had rhymed
me
it
too.
with a sail, wassail, a sail. And then I looked it up or something and it said it's pronounced wassail or assaul or something. Anyways, now I'm messed
yeah.
up. So I was like, oh, well, I can't say wassail and a sail. Okay, it's assault. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to wassail. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Here's the deal. It's in a lot of songs, they just say wassail. So I think it's one of those. I think that life is full of
tomato.
It's one of the tomatoes. I think it's the evolution of language. Like my dad used to kick our asses every time we said snuck. He's like, that's not a word. It's not a word. It's sneaked. Now, by golly, you can find snuck. Now that I've learned, snuck is in the dictionary because it just evolved to be an acceptable word.
So it sounds better than sneaked.
Yeah, and people just, it's such a confusing past tense situation in our language. It just changes everywhere you look. And so when I lived in Romania, and Romanian people would be like, why is it that? And I'd be like, I was a missionary, so I could say, don't yell at me, go back to the Tower of Babel and yell at God, because that was like part of our faith. And so but anyway, there would be like, what is your word for this? And we'd tell them, why is it this? Because why is the word for cookie different from the word for cake? That was weird to them. So just depends on where you are and what you're doing. So
yeah, exactly. Well, that's like living with Ryan. He's Australian, so we all the time have that kind of tomato. Tea is actually dinner. So we had a situation once when we first got married, and he had said, "Are you making tea?" And he meant dinner. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. So I made some tea, a cup of tea. And then I brought it over, and he was really hungry. So it was not a popular moment. But I brought him a cup of tea, and he looks at it, he's like, what's that? And I was like, your tea. He's like,
the word tea. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we had that whole discussion of, oh, you meant dinner tea. So now that's my question. If you say tea, dinner tea or tea? Like, why would you guys call it that?
It is so funny how these vernacular things happen, and it's fascinating to me. I just want to nerd it up big time.
Well, I'm going to remind everybody, if you leave, poetry is on the way in the comments, and it says it at the little scrolly thing down here. You can win a copy of Tortured Willows, the New Zealand version, we'll say, because it has a slightly different cover from the cover on Amazon. So just enter that in the YouTube comments. It has to be in the YouTube comments or the robot won't pick it up. That's my housekeeping for right now.
Cool.
So what else have we got? You keep mentioning this poem.
Yes. Is it the one from Pete? Or
we do have Pete. Which we should say really quick.
Thomas Hardy,
Congratulations, Pete, because Pete is now a Pushcart nominated poet for his poem "A Walk in the Woods" by Pete Kelly in spring issue 140 of Space and Time. So he is officially a Pushcart nominated poem. Also, congratulations to Blaise Langlois. And I know we've read some of her poetry on here. And she had Substance in spring 140, Space and Time. And she got a nomination for that. And then the third one, because we did 3 short stories. The third one was Haiku by Sheila Scheffler, also in spring 140, Space and Time. Full disclosure, Space and Time only really came out with 1 issue last year. So that's why everybody's out of the same issue. So, but that's congratulations, Pete. That was awesome. It was a wonderful poem, and it's super, super proud to have you on the Pushcart nominations. Now, if you win, we can have like a whole celebration about it. That would be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations, Pete. Absolutely. I'm going to put my glasses on because it's white on black and in an interesting font. So I'll show you. Oh, wait, which way? Oh, there we go. Okay. It's called The Outsider by Pete Kelly. A prairie ocean undulates, giving voice to a breeze. Upon this picture's... So sorry. I'm going to have to move this way where I can get light. Okay. The Outsider. A prairie ocean undulates, giving voice to a breeze. Upon this picture serene, a waning sun bleeds. Flushed clouds, unmoved, absorb a crimson glow. Above, a lonesome silhouette twisted in a final throw. A tree of grim aspect sits atop a mound, source to a winding path worn into the ground. Hang from an outstretched limb, as if last offering made. A man hangs restful, grisly pendulum to time's decay. Head down as a child scorned, a face pointing at lost shoes, pouting at lost shoes. I'm sorry. Okay, Pete, next time just like cut and paste. I'm sorry. Okay. Head down as a child scorned, a face pouting at lost shoes. Such a pointless humiliation for one with nothing to lose. Clouds roll in for a brawl, thunderous punches explode as all light is snuffed out. Grass reel as if under ghostly hold. Lightning strikes like a sudden memory, illuminating all but the lines on his face, deep paths of a journey misunderstood by those choosing ignorance to embrace. A perfect town with perfect ways, he was the oil in their water, anathema to righteous minds with such delicate borders. Goaded by the frenzied storm, succumbed like he was to lies. An unseen hand calls a stop, and then he opens his eyes.
Ooh.
Boom.
I like
you, Pete.
it.
I apologize for goofing it up. Your beautiful poetry. But yeah, Pete always creates such a mood and chooses such lyrical words. I always enjoy it, and I always enjoy hearing Pete read his own stuff too, because he's got a real presence. So congratulations, Pete.
Gorgeous voice too. Yeah, and I'm actually, I thought I had a video from Pete. Like I really did, that didn't make it in the last time, but I couldn't find it. So if that was sent, I apologize. I don't know where, when I went into Dropbox to download it. So I don't know what happened, or maybe I just imagined it, because that can also happen. That does happen.
Yeah.
So I dreamed
we'll
it.
Need something. We'll need that in January if you can send it, because January for me is always like so
yeah.
Aw, all the sparkle has been put away and blah blah. So yeah. All right. Something to share from Angela.
That's why
I want to hear.
That's why we get along, because in January I'm like, oh, all the sparkle's been put away. Awesome. Let's get this year started.
I will hang out with you, and that can rub off on me. I'm in a much better place in life than I was back when I was nuts.
Yeah.
Back when my mom would always say that. Well, back when I was in the nut house, sometimes you just have to be able to say it.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. That's true.
This is like such a weird afternoon. I'm going to go close my front door real quick, because the heat is on and I can hear it on, and somebody left the front door open, so I'm freezing and I have heat.
Oh wow!
So I'm like, give me just a second, cool. Then I will read my poem from Shadow Atlas and show off this amazing book that makes me want to quit doing layout, because it's so good. I will be right back.
Don't quit writing the poetry. I will entertain the good people with a Thomas Hardy poem, A Christmas Ghost Story, taking place during the Boer War, the horrors of war. South of the line, inland, far Durban. Oh, gosh. Uh-oh, I'm gunking it up again. Okay, take it away, Angela. I'll read that poem later. I was going to read the Thomas Hardy. Oh, she's put in her earbuds. I started the Thomas Hardy and immediately gunked it up because I didn't have my glasses on. So I put up a Christmas tree in front of the window. There's no light filtering through. So I'm like, okay. Anyway. It's all Angela. All right.
That's okay. Well, I was going to say, finish the poem. And just full disclosure, I am getting so weirded out because I've let my hair pop out of my hat. I didn't notice until afterwards. And so it is like, I keep going, what is that? Oh crap! What is that? So
It's so cute.
this is why I
It looks
always
so
wear the
60s. I
same
like it.
thing. I can't be distracted by so I'm just not looking over here.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, go ahead and finish that poem. I actually want to hear this poem because we keep talking about it
Okay.
and then something
Okay.
happens.
Yes. Okay, so this was written during the Boer War. So from an English point of view. A Christmas Ghost Story by Thomas Hardy. South of the line, inland, from far Durban, a mouldering soldier lies, your countryman. Awry and doubled up are his grey bones, and on the breeze his puzzled phantom moans. Nightly to clear Canopus, I would know by whom and when the all-earth gladdening law of peace, brought in by that man crucified, was ruled to be inept and set aside? And what of logic or of truth appears in tacking Anno Domini to the years? Near 20,000 liveried thus have hied, but tarries yet the cause for which he died. So, the horrors of war, basically. There was a note that said he definitely wrote it for soldiers on both sides, and the original line was south of the line, inland from far Durban, there lies, but be he or not your countryman, a fellow mortal. So he wasn't just saying, oh, tragic the death of the English. He was saying tragic the deaths that occur in war. So Thomas Hardy. Christmas
Wow,
Ghost
I
Story.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
looked up
some
Christmas Ghost
story about the
Coast poems, and that came up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that.
Neat.
There's some story about I think it was, and I'm probably really butchering the story, but like Nazi Germany and the American armies were facing off or something, and it was Christmas Day and a snowstorm happened, and they wound up giving up war that day and like doing a snowball fight. And then the next day it was like, okay, now we're back to killing each other or something. Like I probably really butchered that story, but that's I always just thought that was like magical.
Yeah, there was. I know in World War I there was an armistice. I may be using the wrong word. Sorry, world. But there was an agreement to cease fighting for like Christmas, and then there's a Snoopy and the Red Baron song about it by the Royal Guardsmen. Oh, it's so sweet. So yes, I think that is magical, very much so. Yeah. I'm gonna look out the window real quick. It occurs to me that like my son, who's 16, I didn't say, okay, you're gonna tell me when they get here, right? So hopefully they haven't driven away. Oh, okay. Stress. Hot water heater. Okay.
Yeah, so this is truly like a holiday cake and Hyperbull because holidays are kind of known for being stressful.
I'm burning the cookies. Oh my gosh, look at the raffle presents. They're here. They're here. Yeah. So basically that.
Oh my goodness.
More fruitcake. Okay, I am anxious to hear your Shadow Atlas poem.
All right, I'll show the book off. I'm gonna just a little bit inside. They did an amazing job with this book, and this little thing up there is a animation. So if you flip the book, which I do not have the skills to do here, that little clock will turn. So actually, I did see that. So
it's like a flip book.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. But yeah, and they did a lot of like redacted stuff. I mean, the art in here is amazing. And it's the idea, it's all fiction and poetry about like kind of the more obscure legends of, oh, look, there's mine. Okay, that's the one I was going to read. Whoops. Which is, it's like chaos poetry. It is Los Vigilantes Obscuros. And then the art, I just thought was so cool. They just did a beautiful job. I'm so jealous. So my poem was about the Dark Watchers. So when I was trying to pick something, of course, I wanted something eerie because that's generally what attracts me. And I read about, I had read about this just prior, one of those weird internet rabbit hole searches. And then the next day, I think they asked me if I would be interested in writing a poem about this legend, any legend, like just pick a cryptid or pick something. And I had just read about Los Vigilantes Oscuros. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Yeah.
But they are shadows on the mountains where travelers going through the Southern California mountains suddenly will turn around and there will be this enormous wizardy kind of dark figure standing on the opposite mountain. and nobody knows why, but they just
Wow.
watch you. Like, they just watch you. Not to take the magic away, but I think it's probably your shadow, because it always happens
Yeah.
in the evening, and I think the sun is lowered to a point, so you are probably that like casting a shadow on the clouds
Sure.
on the opposite mountain. So that's what I think it probably is, but I won't take the magic away.
I think that's still pretty cool that you could make a shadow that would look like a wizard on him. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
wild.
So I got just totally captured by that whole thing. So then, this was the poem. And they're actually called Dark Watchers. In English, we say Dark Watchers. So, and it's in the Santa Lucia Mountains in California is where this happens, but only there. So that's the other thing is, like, I say that about, it's probably just shadows, da-da-da-da-da. But why only in those mountains? Sunsets in all the mountains, So maybe not.
So magical. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I kind of want to go there. Not like I'm a nature person anymore after having, Lyme disease, but I kind of want to go to these mountains and see if I can't see a dark watcher.
No kidding.
All right. And then this is the poem I wrote for it. And this book just published, what? I can't remember what month it is. Oh, November 30th. So this just came out. I was like, wait, what month is this? Oh my gosh. All right.
I don't know. But I know I can't find the words sometimes. Peeking out the window. Okay, sorry. Okay, continue.
All right. Los Vigilantes Oscuros. I aim not to be a gift wrapped in shallow grave. I keep my eyes down and never tarry in the Santa Lucias, where shadows have eyes. Hush when you see them. Towering, they blot the stars that glimmer awake, reflection of us. Those without respect get none from Los Oscuros. Against the twilight, they appear from silver mist, like ink stains on smoke. On the edge of night, framed in red from setting sun, Los Vigilantes, those that watch and wait for the end of times, and us, sentinels of shade, they guard the West Sea, best to hush and hurry through, away from their gaze. So.
Ooh, and then, captivating.
And then there's a little spot for notes at the end. So if you want to take your own field notes in this book, they just did this is Hex Publishers, Karina Bissett and Hillary Dodge and Joshua Viola came out with it, like did the editing and stuff. Phenomenal job. Gorgeous book. I am so impressed.
Your poem is worthy of it, and your subject matter. That was all captivating. Thank you.
Yeah, and we need a field trip someday. We're going to go see if we can find these dark watchers.
Yeah, if it's like, I have this fear of the wilderness where it's like, I love nature and creation, for my faith and all this, but I'm like, I really am scared of it. I'm really scared of like all the ways you can die and stuff. So I'll have to like prepare, read about like what I'm getting into and make sure I talk to the locals. What do I need to take if I'm doing this thing, that kind of thing. Because I'm not very smart at that stuff. So that's such a great thing to exist.
That's so funny. Well, that makes me feel better because I'm kind of like, I wound up getting the Lyme disease and I was a nature person. Well, like, I like being in the woods. And then I got that and now it's like, oh God, a bush, get away from me. I just don't even touch me, nature.
Well, you never know. It's true. And I don't want to be a person who shuns it. My husband loves it, but he's also like really, informs himself and gets all the right gear and stuff like that. But I'm just like, when we went to Yosemite, I bought immediately Death in Yosemite, the book written by the Rangers to help people not die. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's just too damn many ways to die. A tree could just fall on you. Of course, that could happen here too, but it's crazy. Well, I'm going to take us back into the city life with a poem called Piano Ghosts Eventually. It's another ghost poem. At the turn of the candy cane, the street of his spiraling embraced him with pine, every bend soft with candle glow, masses of jewels and peppermint, confrontations of sap to chew and ghosts to ponder and frazzle. A plum pudding sported emo bangs of hard sauce frosting and flannel blue about the crown. He howled in protest. It turned into song. She was not at all a fool for blowing her life savings on concert chimes, tall and proud, silver-plated brass, weighty, imposing in her tiny lair. She was not at all a fool for tying them in a bow of glittered velvet, cornered alongside tarnished brass music stand, adorned in saxophone sheet music, swiped, never returned, sleigh ride, back in high school. The entirety of the main room was that 1890s grand piano, a jaw-dropping bargain, haunted with dissonance, rings of long dust bourbon glasses and perfumes now defunct. Underneath it, a futon cushion, and whispers and dreams of local citizens now buried, their personal delights and dramas, their humorous secret clubs, their hearts full of murder, their messages of madness, clawed into underside of grand piano, legs ornately carved, ornate carving, twisting you in their past, their dearest songs, their bee-stung garnet lips, their flower gardens carved in rosewood, their creases enfolding dust of departed, their rosewood furrows of opium and absinthe, illicit whiskey and fireworks, Christmas punch and fruitcake dreams, aromas clutching the air as rich hymns. And that was called Poa Pianos. Eventually, it gets to that
like
part.
that. I might need you to send me that because I want to read that again. That had some
okay.
texture and like I like that.
There's stuff happening.
Yeah,
Well,
what was it? Somebody was the piano underneath and the clawing underneath the piano. Like I was like, what? What's going on?
There
here?
were like messages, Claude, and and there was a music store on the square. I think there still is, but I don't think this is the same place. But when I was in college, there was a music store on the square where I saw both concert chimes and a grand piano, and there was an 1890s grand piano there that was like something like $200 or $500, probably because it was awful and had no strings or something. But it was like brown, wood stain and all these like crazy. It's like I'm like now it's like 27 years later and it's like still in my head. So sometimes I think about that piano. Where would I have put it? This house. This is the 1978 like tri-level, split level kind of thing. And it's just like, there is not a room in this house where that piano would fit. We'd have to knock a wall out. So I didn't buy it. So, but it lives. It lives. Back then, there was no internet, funny. So you couldn't get your highest price for these. It's like, well, I just got to unload this damn Victorian piano, $200, and now it's like, the collectors will find it online, $2 million or whatever.
Yeah.
So, back then, you could get pianos for free. Like when I lived in Colombia, people were like, oh, do you have a truck? Because they're giving away a piano over blah, blah, blah. If I just haul it away. And I'm like, I don't, but that's awesome because people just wanted to get rid of them. And there was not a big way to do that like there is now.
Yeah.
You could just.
Oh, yeah. We're some of those people. We had a piano one time that somebody gave me. And I was all like, yes, because I want to play a musical instrument someday. That's still a want. It's probably never going to happen at this point. But I do have that stylophone, and I have played it a couple times. Apparently, me wanting to be a musician is like so me wanting to be president, maybe. I don't know. It's like something that's like theoretical, but it's probably not going to happen.
So I know how to do some music, but I know like the shortcuts. So I'm like, if you listen to me, I am not a pianist, and I am not a harpist, but I know tricks to actually make a song and help myself. Like I can actually remember what I'm going to do when I finally do it, because it's not, the musicians want you to think it's voodoo, but so I can, if you ever want, we can just sit down and learn a few things.
We might do that at some point.
Kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, right now I'm in the music is voodoo. Like,
yeah, music is basically a language, and I started when I was like 5, so I kind of learned it alongside, reading
language
words and stuff like that. So, so my mind knows some of it, but I never went really elaborate with it. By the time I would have moved on, I didn't. From my neighborhood teacher to a better teacher, I was just like, nah. That's okay. Yeah. So then I just came back to it later and stuff, but I don't do anything really severe. But that's all right.
Well,
you don't have to. It's folk music.
Yeah. Well, as the person that's still in the stage of like, wow, this is like really hard. I don't even understand this language. What's going on here? I am very impressed. And Gina commented that the
thanks.
ukulele is easy to learn, and I've thought about that for years, like getting a ukulele, and it's like my size, so I felt like that's like guitars are too big. I could do a ukulele, but there's so many other things to do. So many other things.
There
to
are.
do.
There are. That's why I like do. Oh, it's terrible. You know, it's like I look at people like you and people like musicians who really go far, and I'm like, I'll never be that because I want to spend this time on poetry and I want to spend this time on music and I want to spend this time on art. So I'm like the jack of all trades and the master of none. So it's a bummer. But you know, I might retreat into like months of one or the other and make a jump in progress. But I'm never gonna be a professional.
You get like lately my obsession has been those new tarot cards that I got. Remember I was teaching myself tarot. Well, like I knew tarot, but I didn't know it from like the ground, like lots of fundamentals I was missing. So I started taking a course to learn it from the beginning and kind of like, wow, I really didn't know what I was doing. That was my impression. Then I got where I was somewhat like proficient at it. And then that was so I could get these cards, which are like super limited. She has 100 sets left out of I think like 7,000 or 8,000. Yeah. But and that's like the Hermit is like they're super multicultural. You got to go get those guys.
Time out. I'm sorry, Angela. Keep going. I got to go greet the guys. Okay. Continue. Be right back.
All right. Well, I will tell you about these cards real quick. These are from Benabel Wynn, by the way, but she did like kind of a multicultural, and each card is supposed to have a spirit in it. There we go. That way we don't have the sound going over. But yeah, these are amazing. And there's a whole giant book written about them that I have been studying. So this has been my latest obsession, is these cards by Benabel Wynn. So, but yeah, anyways, I super digress and I should get back to poetry. That's strength. But yes, I've been loving these. I have been like super into these lately, which is probably why I was running late on my poem this month. But I will, speaking of poems, read a poem. Earlier I was going to read the Dreaming of Shisa one. And that's kind of these little keychains. I think I brought it up. These Shisa are guardians. All Shisa are alive and all Shisa are guardians. And they protect and bring luck and blessings to whoever I want to say owns them, but holds them, or anyways, they protect that person, their ward. And so that's why I'm making all those keychains, because I thought we really need some protection and good luck in this world right now. So, and this is the poem that I'd written in Tortured Willows about Shisa. Dreaming of Shisa. The faithful Shisa sits guarding Tomori still, protecting from fire. I want him with me, guarding my front door and gate. Demons turn away before his stone gaze. But Shisa are kind, in pairs and ask nothing. They drive away plague, soothe broken hearts, and make luck. There can never be too many Shisa, crouching on rooftops, watching beside the front gate. Ryuko lion dogs, he breathes the luck in. She holds her breath to keep it. And then there's actually like little notes, and while waiting on Amy to come back, I will read the notes in this book to kind of explain better what Shisa are. Ryukyu is just Okinawa. That's just the name of Okinawa, if you're Okinawan. Shisa are lion dogs derived from Chinese guardian lions. They are actually always in male and female pairs. The left Shisa is female, and she has her mouth closed to hold good luck and good spirits in. The Shisa on the right is male, and his mouth is open to scare away the bad spirits and bad luck, to scare away bad luck. Shisa are thought of as protection and of the Ryukin arc, and the rule seems to be that you can't have too many Shisa. And that's photos that I've seen of Okinawa. Shisa are on every single place that you can find them. And I actually have, you can't really see them here, but on my little box back there, I have a pair of Shisa, and I've got a pair of Shisa over there. And there's Shisa on my front door now. So I have gone Shisa nuts over here. So that's why I have to give them away to everybody now. to bring you luck.
That's
That's
a
what
great way to do it.
on the keychain. Yeah, I saw those on Amazon, and
Yeah.
I was like, I need like something when I'm listening to lectures. I have to do something like draw or something. That's why I do those
Yes.
digital collages. Otherwise, I don't listen because my imagination. I'll start thinking
Yeah,
about
my kid's that way.
yeah, he said that. Oh, now I'm off on a completely different tangent, and I have no idea what just happened for the last hour. So that's why I have to do something like that. So that's where the Shisa came from.
Yeah.
Is I had to listen to a bunch of lectures. So
Awesome.
and
That's
oh
like
yeah,
what
and then
is
the
kinesthetic. Yeah,
mhm,
my son was
yeah.
that way. Is that way?
Yeah, so yeah, it helps a
He has
lot.
to
It's
draw.
amazing how much I can retain when I'm like doodling, which that's the thing in traditional school. I used to get in trouble for that all the time. I'd be sitting there doodling
Yeah.
while you're listening to the teacher.
Yes.
Well, now you're not paying attention, but actually I am paying attention.
Right.
So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So anyways,
It's a whole
yeah.
style of learning. That kinesthetic.
Mhm.
Yeah. My son does that. He would get in trouble too. And then when I started homeschooling him, he would draw while I was reading to him, and I would just at first, because I hadn't ever been there at school while he was
Mhm.
doing this stuff, so I was like, now tell me what we just read, and he could tell it back to me. He could tell it back to me perfectly. And so
Mhm.
it's just like his hands needed to be busy, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So but yeah, so that was Shisa. I'm actually
I love it.
I'm looking at the time, and I know you've got workmen there, and I've got dogs that are like dying to be walked. I'm good to end here if
Aw.
unless you have like more poems or like I don't have to.
Well, I think we can wrap it up. We've got we still have our third Sunday poetry coming up. Well, the third Sunday of December, whatever date that is. And so we can just save some for then. We won't have to prepare as much.
Yeah.
Sorry about our frazzled atmosphere. There goes
Yeah,
the
this
garage
is
door. I don't know.
oh that's was like this might be a
I don't know
good
what's
ending point
happening.
actually. We actually only have
Yeah.
one entry in our contest. We're giving away a copy of this Tortured Willows, which is the book that I put out with Christina Singh, Lee Murray, and Geneva Flan. See, this is like I thought this was really good layout. I was super excited. I was like, oh look, I used red for
It is good.
the titles, and we've got art in the back. And then Shadow Atlas had to come along. Make me want to quit.
What you and I, hey, what I've done ever since I started doing like harp songs on the internet, and I've started and whatever everything I do, I'm just like, it's awesome. You tell yourself, and by telling yourself, you tell the world. This is awesome.
Yeah,
you're witnessing
well, that's
right
what I
now.
did.
So,
I was like, this is what I did.
Easy,
it's not that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
well,
that's my poetry. I put in a nickel, and this is what came out. So
yeah. I'm going to type a message. Last chance to enter the contest. And if you want to enter the contest and win a copy of this book, then just type, I will get this screen shared. Poetry is on the way. Share.
Poetry is on the way. Like from the song.
Yeah. If you just type that phrase there, then we will draw this name. And it's really cool. This is like a new thing. Well, I don't know if it's new. It's new to me. StreamYard may have had this for a while. But yeah, they've just got this like little giveaway robot thing. Everybody that enters that phrase in, like this will like spin. I mean, unless we only have one person, then it's just going to show Pete because he's the entry. Oh, we got 2 entries. Okay, so now it's a contest. But it's going to be really cool. I think I get impressed by these things. It'll like flash between everybody's names to draw up the tension or whatever. And then confetti will happen when the winner is selected. Oh, did we lose Amy? Oh, that was weird. I'm sorry. I don't know why you disappeared like
here,
that.
But it just kind of like it shut down for me. It just put me back in the backstage.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm back.
Okay, I was over here crapping on about poetry and confetti and contests, and I didn't even notice it. I was like, "Oh, did I kick you off?"
That's okay. I have no
All right. Well,
idea.
now we have. I won't say this has been our most chaotic Cake and Hyperbull but it's up there. This was,
There's been
but still,
some scrambling.
but fun. Yeah, but fun. And I'm like super excited because the results of this are hot water for you, and I'm going to eat cake. So win-win. All right, I'm going to pick the winner. I think we've got 2 entries. It's going to be between Gina and Pete. Good luck, both of you.
I can't wait.
Check this out. I thought this was so cool that this happens. It's like technology.
Oh, I know. I should have put my name in. Wow.
Oh, it's Gina. Congratulations, Gina. I will be sending you this book with some Shisa. And yeah, I can't think of anything else to say about that except for awesome and congratulations.
That was so fun.
Yeah, and how cool is that like contest thing?
I know.
I wanted to start. Yeah, that's my plan is every Sunday or whatever. Every time we do this, I want to do like a giveaway.
Saturday. Yeah. Okay. I'll think we can share the duties and discuss things. Yeah, because that was fun.
Yeah.
And
I'm thinking
around and
in January, I'm going to give away a copy of The Eye of Tony Hicks, because some books should be, with like All Luck and everything. You should have 2 poetry books laid out and on Amazon by that time. So we can promote that by giving away a copy of The Eye of Tony Hicks.
Oh yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that'll be
that was awesome.
Yeah, next Cake and Hyperbull, first Sunday of the month.
Cool.
Yes,
Saturday.
and then we have thank you. I'm like
that's okay.
Brain gone. And then third Sunday of the month is yours. Is the Instagram.
That is our Instagram live, and my son's phone. I'm using my son's phone so that the people wouldn't be calling me. That's the third Sunday, and on @Hitness and Outrage _ between every word. So there you go. Mm-hmm. That'll be third Sunday. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. And if you look in the comments of this video, I think everywhere right now because it's only on YouTube and Facebook, you will see a link to Amy's. It's like a link tree, but you'll find that Amy has a YouTube channel, and her Etsy shop is linked, and all of those pertinent links, and her Instagram, so you don't have to miss that. All of that is right there in those links.
Thank you. Hey, buy some holiday December-y gifts. There's no supply chain issues here. So, I ship fast. So it's Wassail Wednesday, right? If I said that
Wednesday
right. is every Wednesday, just whenever I get it done, but it'll stay on the account. I don't delete it as long as all goes well. So yeah, that's this coming Wednesday again. So we're going to be making, oh my gosh, the drink we're making, you don't want to miss. I'm not going to give it away. It's too funny. All right. See you there.
All right. I'm going to check it out. All right. I guess that will be the end of our chaotic Cake and Hyperbull for December. This was crazy, but fun. And congratulations to Gina. I will be getting your address so I can send you this package. And congratulations to Pete, Mr. Pushcart nominated poet. And yeah, Gina, they are like a gargoyle. They are actually considered a gargoyle creature. And that's me catching up on comments that I wasn't paying attention to. Talking about Shisa.
It's hard to pay attention to comments. It's hard to lot, guys.
Yeah, I know. And this has been a frenetic but good Cake and Hyperbull.
It's been fun. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Always.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. I will see you all later, and I will see you sooner than later. And I'm going to eat some ghost cake.
Yes, do it. I'm still eating my fruitcake. Oh. All right, everyone. Happy Saturday. And
bye.
Bye.